Hello Forkies, this is day 16 of me playing chess every day until I reach the rapid rating of 2500. So here we go. We will play a 15 plus 10 rapid game, and now I switched from 10 plus 0 to 15 plus 10. I think this is better time control for talking and playing. So we have the casual Caro-Kann, d4, d5 now, and the main line. So taking the pawn is necessary, and now bishop f5 is the classical variation. h4 being the best move, but bishop to c4 played, and this is a strange move if I'm completely honest. Usually the bishop develops to the d3 square, to this natural diagonal, challenging my bishop, but bishop to c4 is okay as well. Probably e6, controlling the square and blocking this bishop should be very okay. Pawn to e6, trying to develop my bishop, maybe to e7, maybe to d6. Of course bishop b4 is a bad move because of pawn to c3, blocking the check, attacking my bishop. So bishop e7 or bishop to d6. Knight will go to d7 and to f6 most likely. So my opponent thinking now probably knight f3 followed by knight to d7, controlling the e5 square is playable, and then probably castling short, although h4 is an idea as well to try to trap my bishop, and then bishop d2 in castling, well, not with the queen but castling long of course, but then b5, b4, maybe I have some play after my opponent castles long. So now my opponent is thinking whether or not to develop his knight or to simply develop his bishop. And the saying goes, bishops should develop after the knights, so knights before bishops. So knight to f3, we know, wow, knight to e2 is played. Okay, actually this move makes a lot of sense, because he's going to f4, attacking the bishop. But, I mean, I have all these pawns on light squares, kinda blocking this bishop, so if you want to spend a lot of time grabbing my bishop, that's fine for me. So, of course there is the move bishop d6 here as well, but I like knight d7 actually. I know this knight will go to d7 anyway, and bishop d6, I will never take this knight with my bishop, so I will simply let my opponent take this bishop, and this knight will be blocked and restricted then, so I like my position. Maybe my bishop wants to go to d6 actually. Although, maybe not. There is of course no tactic with queen a5 check. Yes, maybe bishop d6, after takes, castles, knight f6, then bishop g5 pinning. I don't like this pin, and my bishop will simply be a target, so bishop e7 simply. Bishop e7, or knight e7 taking bet with the knight. No, this is bad. Of course I didn't calculate here, but I mean, after takes, knight takes, I don't think this is good for my opponent. I have here bishop d2. Maybe I should have calculated this variation as well, most definitely, because I cannot really defend my g7 pawn after knight takes. Although bishop takes, I have takes, check, bishop d. Okay, now his idea is definitely to take the pawn. So how to prevent this idea? This is very hard actually to do. Maybe knight d f6. I mean, what? Of course I can play queen a5, but after bishop d2, is this really helpful? Can I simply develop? Let me calculate this firstly. And after knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. What's happening in that position? Knight f8. Queen, let's say, e2. Blunders a pawn, so queen e3. I don't think my opponent can sack, especially when I develop my knight. I don't think. Well, maybe he can sack the bishop. Let me check this as well. I mean, queen b6 takes. I don't think he can. I mean, this is very stressful now. I don't think he can sack. I have too many pieces around my king. I mean, even 3 pawns, but look at this king. If I get my rook to e8, I mean, no. You can't sack. If you will sack, then... I mean, I cannot afford to lose this game because I would lose 11 rating points. So, I don't know why I'm getting paired with like 1800 rated players. This is very annoying. I want to play good guys, of course, so that win can be more than 5 rating points, which is very little, of course. So my opponent thinking, I don't believe you can take with the bishop. Of course, the fact that knight e6 actually is a fork on my queen and pawn is kinda stressful. But then just queen b6, I have a lot of counterplay. If pawn takes... I don't think this can be good for my opponent here. And then rook e8. And this queen and this king still in the center of the board. And my next move, if nothing special happens, is short castles, most definitely. And once I castle my king, he takes. Okay, he takes. Most definitely I can castle as well. But why not get into a fight? Why not? I will take. Knight takes, queen where? This is a very important question now. There is queen a5 check, and after bishop d2. Oh, then I have queen a6, or here. No, here there is c4. This is very important question. Queen a5 here, queen a6. Oh no, but then I'm getting forked. No. Queen b6. Why not? Queen b6. Nothing should be wrong with this move. And yes, in my head I thought this position is not very bad for me. My opponent will get 3 pawns for a piece, but this is still middle game. His king is still uncastled. This queen is attacking and pressuring everything, and my pieces will be felt in the middle game, most likely. I will open the g file to attack this king. I will open up the e file to skewer and to pin this queen to the king. This is hard to play for my opponent. This bishop super active on this diagonal. I have the bishop pair as well. So I don't think... What? Castling? What? Now I need to focus. Here, here, here. Doesn't work. I will castle by hand, bishop f7. What about bishop f7? No, I don't like this. He simply castled. Wow. I mean... So, king f7. What is happening in the resulting position? Oh! Oh, oh, oh. My opponent can still take. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. So what is my move actually? I mean here. Definitely this can be queen b4 can be tried. Definitely. Definitely queen b4 to go to d6. Why not? And then king f7 after takes. Here. Takes. Takes. What is the resulting endgame going to be? Two knights versus a bishop. And 3 pawns. So, how to do this? There is knight d5 as well. Knight d5. c4 is always a big move to face. If I go here, he takes. I don't like this. I mean, I could try playing queen before then, but just queen before. Oh, queen before allows the check. Oh, oh my goodness, no. So king f7 takes and then here. Yes. Yes. King f7. If here, I simply go here, having a winning position most definitely. So now takes is the only move in the position, most definitely, the only move. And then I can even take the pawn. Okay. And everything should be defended in my position. So maybe pawn to c3 is kind of forced now. Or bishop e3. I guess this is move as well. I missed this move. Bishop e3, threatening here. No, just rook to e8. Really? You think this is good enough? I'm not so sure. I will consolidate rook e8. I guess he missed knight g7. Rook e8 playing quickly, but I have time. Why playing quickly when you have enough time? Rook e8 threatening here. Not really threatening, although maybe. Rook e8. Which rook to e8? Very important question. Definitely this one, I'm sure. Bishop g5. h6. Takes. I mean, I still like my position. Knight g5 check. It doesn't work, or maybe it does, but my bishop is now defended, which was the crucial move. If I would simply play something like queen a6, then there is check, picking up my bishop, and I lose the game. So rook e8 defending the bishop, and I have 9 minutes left, which is enough time. We are only at move 13, and my 1800 rated opponent is still thinking. Knight g5, I don't believe this is a good move. Although knight g5, king g8, queen e6, king g8, knight f7, bishop f7, queen f7, queen d8, bishop g5, or maybe even knight f5. I mean, this is hard to survive actually. Maybe after knight g5 I need to play king to f8. But then he can just repeat moves, so... I mean, definitely very hard position to play. takes. Knight g5, king g8, queen e6, king h8, knight f7, bishop f7, queen f7. There is a brilliant move there. Oh, I need to show you. Knight g5, king g8, queen e6, king h8, knight f7, bishop f7, queen f7, and then brilliant rook f8. And if he takes the bishop, which is free, I have rook a e8, skewering the queen to the rook. And when, I don't know, queen a3 will be played, then I almost checkmate him with this queen b4 attacking the knight. Brilliant move. So I hope this happens. I refuted his line. So knight g5, very logical move, by the way. If there is no rook f8 in that position, I mean the position is just lost. What can I possibly play? I calculated queen d8, but then knight f5. There is no bishop on g6, remember? And if I move my bishop, then just, I mean, hard endgame to survive. Definitely, most definitely. So knight g5. Knight g5, I have a brilliant move on the way if knight g5 will be played. And if not, then I will show it to you after the game finish, in the analysis board, in the analysis part of the video. So my opponent still thinking bishop g5, a very natural move as well. But I mean, in some position, maybe if like a3 happens, then simply h6 can be tried, preventing anything to come to g5, which can be crucial, maybe. And my bishop on e7 is defended, so I think I have pretty good chances of surviving this game. Knight g5, definitely the most natural move of them all. Most definitely. I'm hoping for knight g5. I really do. The knights defend each other, so this is super important. Otherwise, my position would be lost, definitely. So my opponent clearly doesn't know what to do, or maybe he's just calculating a very complex line. But I don't think he is calculating bishop g5. I think he is calculating knight g5 100%. Because this is very complicated line. You trade this bishop for the knight, but then you have rook f8. And maybe you can play something like queen, not b3. Queen b3 would, I guess, be bad endgame. But then I just consolidate and I have a piece for 2 pawns, which should be enough to give me great winning chances. So maybe I won't trade queens, because a piece can be felt in middle game most often, because I would be attacking my opponent's king. But I need to consolidate. Firstly, my opponent down to 7 minutes. Clearly is not comfortable in this position. That's my guess. I mean, there is no knight d8, definitely. I just like checked it. But of course you can take with the queen, you can take with the rook, you can even take with the bishop. It doesn't matter, but you cannot take with this rook, of course, because the bishop then will be captured. But even then the position should be close to being winning for me because of rook e8. And maybe just something like bishop d2, excuse me. Maybe, or maybe c3. But in some positions I will play bishop d6 and the knight will be just misplaced on e6. Maybe. My opponent still thinking down to 6 minutes. And although we both get 10 seconds per each move, I mean, time scrambles can be very hard to play, even though you can't really lose on time. but you can lose on the board when you don't have enough time to think. So we will see. My opponent down to 5 minutes and a half. I mean, I hope that he plays knight to g5. You can't spend 4 minutes on a move like bishop to d2. That just... Definitely he is calculating something very deeply. I don't know what that can be, but definitely knight g5 requires a lot of calculation. And I'm just observing the position, so tactics can be easily spotted when you observed the position properly. And my opponent is disconnected. Oh no. That's not a good way to win a game in 13 moves, because my opponent is disconnected. But he will definitely come back, right? Yes, he is back. But down to 4 minutes and a half, this can be very annoying for my opponent. And I will try to play fast, giving him a hard situation to face, but I will invest a lot of time in crucial positions. And this definitely is one of the most crucial positions of the whole game. Why? Because my opponent has sacrificed his bishop. He is down a piece for only 2 pawns. And if I can consolidate, maybe bishop d2, I can simply play king g8, knight to h8 maybe. Then my position should be fine. Maybe he's calculating queen c4, but then I think I have knight to d5, not allowing, but bishop, okay, bishop f4 played. The idea of bishop to f4 is to play knight to c7, most definitely, forking my rooks. But even in that position, maybe, I mean, knight d5 is just so good move. I want to play it right away, but I need to calculate few things. Knight d5, knight g5. What happens? I can take with the bishop attacking the queen. There is nothing there. Knight d5, c4. I can take, and then bishop f6, I guess. Or no, bishop b4 should win the game. Skewering and attacking and pinning and whatever. So, what is his move after knight d5? Maybe bishop g5, but then I simply trade and the queen is hanging there. So, this move, I believe, a big mistake. That is here, bishop e5. I can take, queen takes. Okay, this is definitely more a resilient option for my opponent. Here. Definitely, this needs to be calculated, because after knight takes, there is queen takes, attacking g7. Putting some pressure here, but I have bishop f6. Bishop f6, very good move. Knight g5, check. Takes. I mean, then I can just take. Yes. So, knight d5, bishop e5, takes, queen takes, bishop f6, knight g5. There is of course king f8 as well in this position. But yeah, maybe. But knight d5. Is there anything I am missing? Only check is knight g5. Knight d8 doesn't work. There is no queen move, that should be okay. There is no knight c7 defending the attacking my rooks, of course. So knight to d5. And my opponent spent 8 minutes and a half on the previous move. This is just too much, most definitely. And now I'm simply threatening to take the bishop, playing bishop f6, knight g5. What? But what I can take? Attacking your queen. Wait, what? Is there any check left for my opponent? There definitely is queen c4, which does absolutely nothing, so I will just take the knight. What can I do else? There is no knight f5 check, because this is simply not a check. There is no queen e6, I'm controlling the square. I can then take... Bishop takes g5. What is my opponent doing? He resigned. Okay. So he clearly missed that I can take with the bishop. That's very bad. And yes, the evaluation was winning for me. Probably the sacrifice wasn't sound, but okay, let's analyze the game. Pawn to e4 was played, pawn c6, and this is clearly a main line. And now pawn to h4 is the best move indeed. And after h6, h5 here, knight d7, and now bishop d3, bishop takes, queen takes. And what I'm trying to show you is that white usually castles long in the main lines, and then tries to attack down the wings with something like g4, g5. And this is very comfortable position for white. But my opponent played bishop to c4 here, not h4 or knight to f3. I played e6, correct. Knight e2 was played with an idea to come to f4. Now knight d7, clearly okay. Knight f4. And now queen h4. What? Queen h4. Okay, I would never in my life play this move. So, bishop e7. And now h4 can be played. Okay, I missed this. But knight gf6. If h5. Bishop f5. Takes, and this should be okay position. I get my knight to e4. But after knight to d7, my opponent played knight f4, yes, bishop e7, and queen to e2, preparing to sacrifice the bishop. I played knight g to f6, and now bishop takes e6 is an okay move. It's the best move, but it's okay for white. After queen b6, which is a correct move, now white definitely should have taken the pawn on g7, but he played the move castles. And now king to f7 is the only move in the position. I'm so happy I found it. Now even h4, h5 is an idea for white, wow. But my opponent now played the move rook to e1, which is apparently a losing blunder in the position. I developed my rook, which is the best move, once again, probably the only move, yes. Rook h e8 is the only move, once again. I'm so proud of this game. And after bishop f4, knight d5, again the best move. Wait, is this a 100% accuracy game? Knight g5 is of course the losing blunder. Wait, let me just review the game. This is insane if this was the 100% accuracy. Maybe in the opening I made a few mistakes. 95. Wait, I made an inaccuracy. Let's start the review. Where was the crucial mistake? Or the inaccuracy? Knight d7 wasn't the best move. Okay, but this is... Queen b6. Ouch, you left your pawn hanging. What should I have played instead? Queen a5? And what after bishop d2? Bishop d2. Bishop b4. Exposing my king. Yes, this is just not playable. And then I played 2 or 3 great moves and I won the game. So, guys, this was day 16 of me playing chess every day until I reached the rapid rating of 2500. And if you found this content good, please consider subscribing. It would really help me out. And see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.